higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it, but you didn't do it.
Women's basketball has waited decades for a moment like this, for a player capable of transcending the sport itself, capturing imaginations far beyond the usual fan base. That wait seemed definitively over with the arrival of one specific talent.
You were a bit hesitant and reluctant and resistant to it. So much so you didn't push for her to be on Team USA. So much so you had people like Cheryl Swoops who didn't even want to mention her name.
Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA not merely as a highly anticipated rookie, but as a full-blown cultural phenomenon. She was already packing arenas and dominating national headlines before her professional career even officially tipped off, bringing an unprecedented level of energy and potential.
Then are you willing to admit how stupid it was for y'all not to go all in speaking your piece to elevate Caitlin Clark? So therefore, even more attention could have come and y'all could have reaped the benefits? Now you're gonna do it anyway, and I get that, but you see my point?
But instead of a seamless coronation celebrating its newfound megastar, the league's reaction felt more like a confusing, hesitant tightrope walk. This unexpected friction immediately sparked controversy and raised uncomfortable questions about the WNBA's readiness for the spotlight Clark commanded.
And everybody talk about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying, despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not, until Caitlin Clark came along.
The effect Clark had was undeniable and immediate, starting with television ratings. Viewership for her games, both carrying over from college and into the pros, shattered previous records, drawing millions of new eyes to women's basketball broadcasts across multiple networks.
But if you went the opposite direction, it could have helped that much and facilitated you being in an even stronger position to get yours. But you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Wow.
It wasn't just eyeballs on screens, it was bodies in seats. Arenas didn't just see a bump in ticket sales, they experienced complete sellouts, often months ahead of schedule. Teams were forced to relocate games to larger NBA venues simply to meet the overwhelming demand Clark generated home and away.
They were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
The economic impact extended to merchandise. Clark's Indiana Fever jersey became the highest-selling jersey for any draft pick in any sport within mere hours of its release. This quantifiable earthquake proved her immense value beyond just on-court performance.
It elevated television ratings, it elevated attendance, and it damn sure elevated franchise value. But now, something that y'all resisted talking about.
Yet, even before Clark played a single professional minute, whispers of resistance emerged from established corners of the league. Prominent veteran voices, including Hall of Famer Cheryl Swoops, publicly questioned her readiness and seemed to downplay her historic collegiate achievements.
Some haterade in the league in regards to Clark, starting with WNBA legend Cheryl Swoops herself.
While often presented as standard competitive analysis, these comments struck many observers as oddly dismissive, feeding a narrative that Clark hadn't yet paid her dues in the eyes of some WNBA veterans and needed a harsh reality check from the pro game.
I said Caitlin Clark, rising tide lifts all boats. As much as her presence was maximized by the WNBA, you players could have done more to assist it.
This skepticism wasn't isolated, it tapped into a palpable undercurrent of unease, potentially fueled by jealousy or skepticism, about the sheer volume of attention being showered on a rookie, instantly overshadowing longtime league stars. It created an awkward, unwelcoming friction.
I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries, and you can't do that alone as one person.
This hesitant energy seemed to trickle down or perhaps emanate from the league's own leadership, specifically Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Tasked with navigating this unprecedented growth spurt, her public statements often felt jarringly disconnected from the electric reality Clark was creating.
You know basketball. You know basketball. You know basketball. You know basketball better than me. You know basketball than any of the pundits. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball. There is no way in hell you just accidentally left Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
The most glaring example was Engelbert's remark in high-profile interviews, "No league is about one player." While technically accurate in a vacuum, the timing and context amidst Clark single-handedly driving historic metrics made it land like a lead balloon.
One white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
The comment felt dismissive to many, almost like a deliberate attempt to minimize the very phenomenon lifting the entire league. Critics argued it showed a profound lack of marketing savvy, failing to seize a rare generational opportunity with enthusiasm.
It's a balance, but certainly from a marketing dollars, but corporate partners are stepping up to endorse these players much more so than they were 5 years ago.
Imagine the NBA responding to Michael Jordan's or LeBron James's ascendance by constantly reminding everyone that basketball is a team sport. Successful leagues build around their stars. Engelbert's cautious corporate tone felt like a missed opportunity for bold promotion.
And Caitlin Clark gets hit with a technical. After
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three and then I went and hit the backboard, and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball.
While the boardroom messages felt flat, the on-court reality for Clark quickly became alarmingly physical. From her very first games, it was clear she wasn't just facing typical rookie adjustments, she was enduring exceptionally aggressive defense that frequently crossed the line into foul territory.
He picks off the pass, and Diana Taurasi, they'll count the bucket. And one coming up for DT.
Hard fouls, cheap shots, and overly physical plays became disturbingly frequent. The infamous blindside shoulder check from Chennedy Carter, which initially went uncalled as flagrant, was merely the most blatant example captured on camera, sparking widespread outrage.
Yeah, and the one thing as a very long-term sports fan I know is that officiating and refereeing is always at the top of a fan's list, of the media's list. Obviously, not every, they're humans.
Beyond hard fouls, questionable officiating plagued Clark's early games. A bizarre technical foul assessed for simply tapping the backboard in frustration after a missed shot, an action often overlooked for veteran stars, highlighted glaring inconsistencies.
Don't tell me Caitlin Clark gets a special whiff so ever again. One call was an ejection and the other was a common foul. Now, let's replay this one more damn time. So I can see right here. This was the exact same damn play. Look, same play, bro. Look at this. Are you serious? The rebound, right here. Same play.
Flushed by Williams at
half
play.
Court. Now, Grant Williams was ejected for that.
Would established league icons like Diana Taurasi receive the same quick technical for an identical display of frustration? The widely assumed answer was no, fueling accusations of a double standard in how games involving Clark were being called.
Nobody wants to believe that this league could actually be that dense. Professional league, guys. We're not talking about a rec league. We're not talking about even a high school team. Nobody believes that anybody is that clueless.
This perceived lack of protection wasn't just about fairness, it raised serious player safety concerns. The league's apparent slowness to address the aggressive physicality and inconsistent refereeing felt negligent, feeding the narrative they weren't fully invested in protecting their biggest draw.
Moment on a global scale for our game, for our players.
It's like the fans are absolutely incredible. It's the same when we go on the road. Like there's so many people that are showing up in fever gear. It's really affecting, teams all across our league, which is a really great thing. And, really, I think we're just scratching the surface.
Compounding the on-court issues was the WNBA's bafflingly underwhelming marketing approach. With a genuine superstar generating unprecedented mainstream buzz, the league's promotional efforts felt timid, slow, and strangely reluctant to fully center Clark.
We're bringing more and more fans to this league, people that have maybe never watched the WNBA before, and it kind of takes your breath away at points.
Clark's historic Rookie of the Year award announcement was reportedly handled via a simple phone call during practice, a far cry from the media events and celebrations typical for such honors. It felt like another inexplicably missed opportunity to capitalize on her fame. Merchandise, despite flying off shelves instantly, faced frustratingly slow restocks, leaving fan demand unmet and potential revenue unrealized. There was a notable absence of major league-wide campaigns built unequivocally around the Clark phenomenon. This pattern of perplexing decisions didn't escape notice. Outspoken sports commentator Stephen A. Smith unleashed a fiery critique, echoing the sentiments of countless fans by blasting the WNBA's leadership for fumbling its biggest star and failing to maximize the obvious benefits. Smith's rant wasn't just noise, it powerfully articulated the core problem, a league seemingly resistant and unprepared to fully embrace the generational talent that had landed in its lap. He framed their approach as a massive self-inflicted blunder. Beyond simple incompetence, the consistency of the league's underwhelming response hinted at potentially deeper, more complex issues. Were veteran jealousy, racial dynamics, internal politics, or a fundamental fear of change influencing decisions behind the scenes? Ultimately, the Caitlin Clark situation has become a crucial test for the WNBA. It stands at a fork in the road. Fully embrace the star power and seize the growth opportunity, or risk squandering a golden moment through continued hesitation and questionable strategy. The future relevance and trajectory of the league may hang in the balance.